Hello and welcome to another review by Robin the Reviewer. Today we are reviewing the Majority Audio Knapton DAB Plus radio alarm clock. As we can see from the cover of the box, it's not only a radio alarm clock, it's also a wireless charger. So this section across the top is for charging your mobile phone or other wireless charging capable devices. So we've got DAB Plus and FM radio, we've got the wireless charging, we've got dual alarm, so we can set two independent alarms, and we've got stereo sound. And as we can see from the image on the box, we've got rather a large grille area on both sides and actually across around the front. So also on the box, before we get into it, we've also got a reminder about the free 3-year extended warranty. So we use the mobile phone and scan the code or use the web address in order to get on and extend that warranty. Some additional information on the back, not really much more than what I've already said. So we've got the DAB Plus, we've got the FM, we've got dual alarm, stereo sound and wireless charging with QI wireless technology. So let's get into the box and have a look what we've got. So first off in the box we've got the user manual, and that's how many pages of user manual have we got? We've got 22 pages of user manual. This one is in Spanish, Italian, French I can see there, German and English. So we've got basically what's in the box. Got all of the controls on the top and on the front and what's in the display. We've got the connections and additional controls on the back. Basic operation, listening to audio, USB functions, so we can also play from USB and charge from USB. We've got Bluetooth, so we can connect and pair it with our phone. We've got DAB radio, got information about playing FM and DAB presets and recalling stations, wireless charging, alarm settings for both alarm 1 and alarm 2. We've got snooze capability in the alarm. We've got sleep mode. We've got dimmer. And then we've got other functions around manually setting the time. Some troubleshooting, support information and full spec. And finally, safety and recycling information. So that's plenty of information in the manual. Another quick reminder about the 3-year warranty. And then what have we got? So we've got the antenna. So I've got a note here. Wireless charging is disabled on DAB and FM modes due to signal interference. Use wireless charge on standby, Bluetooth and USB modes. So that's worth noting and saving possibly 1 or 2 support calls. So yeah, no wireless charging while you're listening to the radio. And another note here, screw the aerial to the terminal on the radio, tighten by hand, use this spanner. And that's not a spanner. I don't see a spanner for for final tightening to ensure aerial is securely fixed and will remain upright. Perhaps it is somewhere else loose. Here we go. It's underneath. So they've even provided a spanner to tighten up the aerial. That's you don't often get that kind of support in setting up a device, but yeah, that's helpful. Here we've got racked up presumably the power supply. Yep, so we've got standard UK 3-pin plug and a cylindrical DC jack and what looks like plenty of cable. Then we've got, last thing in the top of the box, we've got a 𝗟𝗢𝗏𝗃𝗏. This is presumably for battery backup, so that if we disconnect we don't lose the clock. So this all feels like one heavy item, but actually there's a lid here, so we'll take this lid out. And there, in nice protective pouch, we've got the clock radio itself. I'll get this out. And that's everything from the box, so we're done with that. And get the unit out of the pouch. And there we are. So we've got nice large gloss black display on the front. We've got various controls for power, settings, mode, info scan, alarm clock, volume up, volume down, play, pause, enter, next, previous, and then a snooze dimmer bar and the Majority logo, and of course the wireless charging pad. Then we can clearly see there behind the grille, speaker on that side and a speaker on that side. And then on the back we've got a USB socket, we've got that antenna socket that the aerial needs plugging into, and then we've got time, plus and minus, so we can set the clock, a little reset hole for the user paper clip, and the 9-volt DC charge socket. And then on the base we've got a couple of vents here, we've got nice rubber feet to keep it nice and stable, and we've also got the cover for the battery backup. So let's get this connected, have a look and see what it's like. So just before we power this up, I've already connected the aerial onto the back, and we're just going to go through the battery fitting. So you are best off with a wide screwdriver. You possibly can do it with your fingers. There's a slot here, but 2p piece would work just as well, or a 50p piece. And then you have to turn in the clockwise direction to unscrew. So that loosens the cover, but it's sat in that recess, so you just need something, a little screwdriver or something to lift it out. Then we've got the connections in the bottom, so with the battery, you want the battery with the words side up and the two-part side down, so the solid side up. Pop that in there, put the cover back on and twist it back in the opposite direction, and then once that's around, then the cover's secure and it's not going to come off. So we're now ready to get this connected up. I've connected the power supply to the mains, and we can connect this in, and if we switch it back, there we go. Welcome to internet radio, and already from the radio system it's picked up the date and time perfectly. That's a nice black display, LCD display, very clear, easy to read. If we just drop the light, see, it's a nice clear display, even on camera. Sometimes things don't come out as well on camera as they do in real life, but it is nice and clear. So let's power it on and see what stations it'll pick up. So because it's the first time it's been on, it's doing a scan. I would hope around here it might pick up 20 stations. Got 8 so far. There's 20. Yep. There we go. So, drop the volume. So we've got volume down to 0. So we can adjust the volume, which goes from 0 all the way up to 32, which is incredibly loud. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want that at a bedside at 32, but it has got plenty of volume. So besides that, we can change to different stations, look at the list of stations, radio 2, and press enter, and if we up the volume slightly, there we go. So that's showing the station, the current program, and the track information if there was a track playing. But yeah, plenty of station information. And obviously we can change the info. I think that's possibly the buffer, the genre, the group of stations, the frequency, the bit rate, any errors, and the current clock, and the date. So plenty of information on there. We've got mode, so that's DAB, FM. I would be surprised if I pick anything up on FM. Do a scan. This aerial does extend, so we've got plenty of length. I'm not in a good signal area, so hence why DAB is all important. And there's lots more stations usually available on DAB, much clearer. So no, as suspected, I'm not going to pick anything up on the FM. Not worth wasting any more time on that. So we've got Bluetooth and USB. Obviously we've got the USB socket on the back, so we can plug in a memory stick with music on that if we wanted to, but I think most people will be looking at using the Bluetooth or the DAB So if we go back to Bluetooth, and we can, it says not connected. So if I have a quick look on my phone at available Bluetooth sources, devices, I can see the Knapton on the bottom of the list, and just got a little jingle to show that we're connected. So I can then go to my Spotify and can play music from there. And the volume on my phone is independent to the volume on the device, so you can leave this at your kind of listening volume and then control it from your phone. And I have got control over the play and pause with the play pause button on the top, and I can go previous or start the same track again or next. So I've got full control. Obviously I can't see the track information, but you'd have your phone on you anyway, so that's not really a problem. And we're showing that we've got Bluetooth. So that's the Bluetooth covered off. If we get back to DAB, we'll have a quick look at the alarm, because obviously this is, let's turn the volume down. So we've got dual alarm clocks. So have a look at alarm 1 setup, enter, and alarm is currently off. So I've got these next previous buttons are also on the left right, so they're for options here. Scroll through, alarm on time, so we'll go for 1423. Daily, we'll go for the buzzer. Volume, turn it up to 24, so that's not the highest, but that's kind of getting there. That's the alarm saved, so we'll turn this off. So that's off now, that's as it would be, and we can see the seconds going up here. So we've got 20 seconds to go. And we can see alarm 1 here on the display, so we know we've set that alarm, and it's going off shortly. 3, 2, 1. So alarm 1 is going off. And it's gradually getting louder, which is good. So if you were already awake, you'd be able to turn it off immediately. You wouldn't have to disturb a partner, but it is getting increasingly louder. So I have got the snooze button on top, so it's snoozed now for 9 minutes, and I can see the countdown of the snooze, which is great. And I've also got the Z's here to say it's in snooze. Now I've not read all of the instructions, so I may be able to that was the dimmer actually there, because it's a snooze dimmer bar. So you can go pretty much completely off on the display, very dim, medium and high. But if I want to, there we go, it was the power button cancels the snooze and resets the alarm, so that'll go off at the same time again tomorrow. So equally, I think there are other settings. We've got system here, we've got backlight, got equalization. So if we go into equalization, we've got normal, rock, jazz, pop, classic, and back to normal, and it shows which is the current selected one with the asterisk, which is very clever. Handy way of knowing what's going on. So we go back to there. We've got language, we've got factory reset, software version, and then back to backlight. And I presume that if I am in the radio, so we've got the volume down, haven't we? So yeah, volume's there. If I then go back into the settings, that's now the presets. Preset recall, because of course there are no preset buttons on the top. So that's how I get back into my presets. And if I come back out of that, but I press and hold it, there we go. So then I get back to the menu, the settings. So I've got a full scan, station list, preset store, manual tune, prune, DRC, and system is in there as well. So again, that's the same system settings as I had before. So now I've also got sleep and the backlight EQ, announcement, language, factory reset, software version, and sleep. So when you're in one of the actual audio modes that's playing, the menu has extra settings that are relevant to that particular source, or just to the fact that you're listening rather than it's the base system of the clock. So in order to use the sleep mode, we turn on the radio. We've got the source that we want. I've turned the volume down so it's not playing over me. And then we go into the settings and we go to system, into sleep, and then we can pick the length. So we want 60 minutes, we'll go for half an hour. Enter to select that. Press the menu source to get back, and then we can see over here we've got an S29, so that's sleep in 29 minutes. So that will give a countdown. As a minute goes by, that will go down to 28, etc, etc. So that will keep going until it gets to 0, and then it will power off. But until then, it will keep playing the source that you want. So that's a handy feature. And finally really is to try out the wireless charging. So as per the instructions in the box when we first got into it, we need to be aware that wireless charging is not possible when you have DAB or FM enabled. But if it's overnight, then if the unit's off, as it is here, it's just got the clock on it. If we then pop a phone on, that is now showing that it is charging wirelessly. And that didn't seem to bother about the fact it's in a case. It's working either way around and through a reasonably thick case. So that's another handy feature. So overall, I mean, it's not got the deepest bass, but it is an alarm clock radio. It has got equalization on it, so you can tune that to the different types of listening that you're doing. So if you're listening to audio books, if you're listening to classical music, if you're listening to rock, pop, there are settings on there to suit that and to make best use of the speakers that there are. It does get very loud, so you can use it louder, but this is really geared at being a bedside clock and therefore providing more intimate radio and USB and Bluetooth listening than it would be if you'd got a rather large stereo, for instance. So this is again the Majority Audio Knapton DAB Plus radio alarm clock. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.